Good evening, welcome Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, of course, and then you may, of course, it's straight up the post-match analysis, Chelsea versus Heidenheim. Obviously, I mean, not so much of a big game, sir. It's not because of the results in Tinamwasi, and yet just because of Chelsea are in Tinamwasi. I'm going to talk about specific things in the game. A course that we really learned in the tactical tweaks that Enzo Maresca seems to have added to his team. He seems to have done certain things that we've not seen in a very long time. We're making tweaks in the build-up. We're making tweaks in terms of personnel and what he wanted from certain players. We're making tweaks in terms of goal scoring and chance creation, of course, sustained pressure levels and so on. He did say, you were talking about Sandy Manina and, of course, the conversation in terms of how Chelsea possibly build from this game and then the next set of games that echo so on. Obviously, it was away in Germany in Heidenheim, and Chelsea won by 2-0. But only just before this game, the big conversation wasn't just about a game. In fact, hours before the game, the big conversation was about Chelsea's captain, Reece James. In fact, from last weekend, the conversation had been simple. Chelsea air-chained the scan results for Abrantia friend Reece James to see the extent of the possible injury, how long he was going to stay out for. Now, Chelsea waited and waited. Over in the pre-match press conference, Enzo Maresca did tell the journalists, and yeah, they obekasa about Reece James Bebre, and Chelsea's plan is not to put a deadline on when Reece James, but because it puts pressure on the player, it puts pressure on the team, it puts pressure on everybody. Into Chelsea, and your margin say they are going to put a deadline on when Reece James will come now. And then we are not, you didn't come on somewhere around 2 p.m. Ghana time. What we picked up and he said, Reece James muscle injury, a new one. It is not an old injury. Now, James and Nessie or Koya who said, no, it's a new muscle injury that's occurred for James. Now, Chelsea for them, according to what we've picked up, and Claire said they believe that and they have Reece James for the very, very long term. No, it's not something that they believe that's going to worry James for the long term. But then again, they want to make sure something a little bit careful to give him all the time. So Reece James and the Chelsea team, yes. He adds a lot more to the quality of play of Chelsea Football Club. But the truth is that when he is not in there, the team doesn't particularly struggle. So it's not like, say, okay, I said Chelsea, Reece James, and I said I said Reece James, Bobby. No. If he's not there, the team goes on to play. If he's out of the team also does so to get results in that regard. So that is something that we are looking at in terms of what Reece James adds to the team. On the field, off the field, and stuff like that. And Chelsea have said they are not going to put any pressure on Reece James. They are going to be calm for him, wait for him to fully return to full fitness. Then they can come in and say, it's okay, Reece James will come at this point in time. And they say, for the rest of the year, Reece James not going to play. So it means that somewhere in January, possibly, and at Chelsea, the closest to have a branch of friend Reece James as captain of the club. No one go for Bebre. Because Addington at Chelsea and Ton Reece James and at Chelsea Indiana Reece James and at Chelsea Reece James and at like the Indies and whatnot. See, Reece James is just 24, and this thing I'll say it and I'll say it for the very last time. Football and you're just anything like in your back and we're planning. No, it's not like that. These are also human beings. For all you know, these are the way you work. Sometimes you have problems with your work near that. You want to succeed. No, it's the same way these guys also have problems. So sometimes fans also have to be a little bit realistic and be calm with these players and allow them also grow. And yes, already 28, yes, already 29. He's just 24. And Chelsea in a fair share of players, whether in performance, whether in injuries, players need free Chelsea away to go and succeed. Just a few days ago, Jamal Musiala was talking about how he left Chelsea. Kevin De Bruyne, all of these guys are there. And these are all names in terms of what can happen to a team and what can happen to a player. So it is always imperative that the team and the ownership of the team becomes a little bit patient and then manages Reece James' issue as it stands now. There's no point in pulling the plug on our branch here, your friend Reece James, in terms of what he brings in, obviously. So that was just in the conversation of our branch here, friend Reece James, and what he brings to the club. Of course, once the lineup did come away at Heidenheim, no, the first big news, the first thing he heard said, so Bekaya, in the pre-match press conference, Enzo Maresca was clear. Now, Oka said, on yet fair to Nkuku. Wabo Nkuku more as a center forward, but Obianim say in terms of the profiling, of a branch friend Christopher Nkunku, even in his best days at Leipzig in the German Bundesliga, he's not particularly an out-and-out centre forward. The best for Christopher Nkunku when you play him as the primary half space receiver or the primary number 10 receiver or the second striker, nearby behind the striker. Usually, Nkunku wants to feed off somebody, or person will be here to hold up play the man, or person will be running channels the man. Send away or no, have chances now. He will use his dribbles, carry the ball, dribble through, and then get onto the end of chances. And of course, because he has a very, very good finishing team, sometimes he's been able to be used as a center forward. But Enzo Maresca was clear. Say a bunch of friend Christopher Nkunku, he as a manager now, he has misprofiled him and he has not used him in the right way. Just when the lineup did come, it looked as if Chelsea were going to play in some semblance of a 3-1-5-1, 3-1-5-1, or a 3-1-6 fluid formation, because it was clear. Say Heidenheim were going to sit in the mid block and not particularly press aggressively, but in game state, that particularly wasn't the exact thing that happened. Heidenheim were able to press. It was more like a 4-1-4-1 when Chelsea were building up. Now, one of the things apart from the position of a bunch of friend Christopher Nkunku, was where Renato Vega will receive the ball. Now, Cesar Casade became a lone six. Usually, it's a Chelsea air ball. Bobby says Cesar Casade becomes, Renato Vega would have inverted next to Cesar Casade, it's a 3-2 phase. But as Enzo Maresca realizes, most of the teams are seeing how he builds up, and especially teams that press partly aggressive, go into a mid block, go into a low block now. They've seen how to get the best, force Chelsea to make mistakes. So what Enzo Maresca seems to be doing is the point of reception of the ball from a branch here, Renato Vega was changing. So it was a base of 3, Cesar Casade as a single pivot. Then, of course, it was more like a diamond onto the left-hand side for a branch here, Renato Vega. So he was more higher. And of course, on the other side, it was also Kenan Drisby. Then right at the apex of the diamond, near a branch here, Christopher Nkunku. Now, Christopher had a license to receive the ball in either spaces. So because Chelsea were using a diamond to make sure say Ombe have a central overload, so continue possession most of the times. There was always space either on the left or on the right, because Modric was keeping the width on the left, and of course Jadon Sancho was keeping the width on the right. Now, that was the difference. And of course, Abrante friend of Maggie. Chelsea went into the game with Renato Vega, Benoit Bellachile, Tosin Adarabiayo, Axel Disasi, Cesar Casade, Christopher Nkunku, Kenan Drisby Hall, Jadon Sancho, Mihailo Modric, any Abrante friend of Maggie, of course, in the game. And that was really the game plan for Chelsea to have more like a diamond. So nominally, it was a 4-1-4-1, but then more like a diamond shape for Chelsea to receive the ball at either half of it. And I think it was a very, very good tweak from coach that's called Enzo Maresca. Now, so Chelsea building up. It was a flat back 3. Cesar Casade is the deepest. Then, like I did mention, Renato Vega will play like the right hand side 8, the left hand side 8, and of course Kenan Drisby will as the right hand side 8. Jadon Sancho, Mihailo Modric will keep the weight. Nkunku becomes at the apex of the diamond. So it was more like a 3-1-2-1-2, 3-1-2-1-2, but not particularly a normal diamond formation, because Maggie and it was assured in terms of Chelsea's ability to try and exploit the chances are heading for them. In fact, Chelsea went into the game, and in the first opening minutes, it was clear. Heidenheim did not come to play. It was so clear. They came with a game plan. They came to try and force the issue against Chelsea. They came believing Now, in fact, this is a team against FC Bayern Munich last season. Almost called down by 2-0. Almost winning by 3-2. In fact, last week against FC Bayern 04 Leverkusen, they scored 2-0 in the first 20 minutes against Leverkusen. Leverkusen for better team and here 5-2. And like I did say in the pre-match analysis, this is a Heidenheim side up. Coach Smith has been there for a very long time. And then this season in the UEFA Conference League, unbeaten just like Chelsea before this game. In the opening numbers of the game, in the opening half of the game, it was clear they were not fast by anything that Chelsea were going to do. There were times normal press here, there were times they won't press, they will set off normal coagulating FIFA, normal born a ding for Chelsea to really, really impose themselves on the game. And it was really, really tough, especially in the first half over there. And I think that one of the best things that Enzo Maresca did was to play Abrante Freno, Jadon Sancho on the right, and then keep Abrante Freno, Mihailo Modric on the left, because he was now able to use the La Pulsa of Abrante Freno, Jadon Sancho, because Jadon Sancho now will come short to receive the ball, and then of course because of the underlapping runs of Kenan Brisbane and overlapping runs of Abrante Freno, Renato Vega. It's actually happening a second goal. It was something that was a little bit shock for me, because usually Nesanka actually starts in a bit overlapping run, but he did not do. But excellent game intelligence from Abrante Freno, Renato Vega, and I think that it was really good. Said Kenan Brisbane or Air underlapping, no Renato Vega. It pulled a lot of the Heidenheim players away. It gave Chelsea the overloads in a very dangerous area. And then, of course, the rest they say is history. I think that in all of that, one of the things that I was very impressed, and he said, Abrante Freno, Philippe Jorgensen was excellent in post for Chelsea. The shot stopping, the reading of the game, the playing out on the back. Chelsea, yes, not Heidenheim personally, and yet the best press that you will get in the world. But you give credit to Chelsea in terms of how they manage that press now, and how they were able to play through the press, how they were able to go into the game with respect to what Heidenheim wanted to do and what Chelsea wanted to get a rich reward. So when you're born as Heidenheim behind company, they wanted to particularly go long. In the first half, it was really an event for Chelsea came close, but they didn't do so much to get Heidenheim for until the second half. And of course, chances did break to them. There were chances that Chelsea, yes, say no campo or that Christopher Nkunku Boa or Bokuma went in national was something that was huge. And I think that particularly Abrante Freno Maggie, the intensity levels are very high, and very good link up play also with Abrante Freno, Christopher Nkunku. And like I did say, it was a big test for Abrante Freno, Christopher Nkunku. In fact, if you look at all the conversation around Nkunku, now Enzo Maresca say, the best position as a second striker, as a number 10, then you are expecting, so okay, fine, now and they have more opportunity. Play as a 10. Let us see how good you are as a player. And I think that Christopher Nkunku was spot on in that regard. Took the chance, took the opportunity by the scruff of its neck, and then made sure that team, and obviously because of, like I was saying, the pulsar, the ball manipulation of Jadon Sancho on the right hand side. For me, it was what really made the goals. What's your first half now? Chelsea was struggling, like I did say, to break down Heidenheim for now. The conversation was, how were Chelsea going to break down Heidenheim for now? In the second half, how are they going to do that job? How was that job going to be done? And I think that I like the fact that Enzo Maresca etuki Nyoma Bakum Yenubi in terms of what they wanted to do for Abrante Freno to break down Heidenheim for them, how they wanted to really get in behind, how they wanted to create chances against Heidenheim for them. It was very important how Chelsea wanted to do that. I think that in the first half, when the pivot was important now the pivot now became Casade Vega, now more like a diamond, pushing up Renato Vega a little bit up top. Now, so we should goals now Chelsea share now. If you look at the first goal that Chelsea scored, one of the things that Yakane several times about the quality of Abrante Freno, Christopher Nkunku has been his ball manipulation and in front of the box. Again, 2 goals created by Abrante Freno, Jadon Sancho. First one, he was able to carry the ball into the box. And I've said it several times here. If you compare Jadon Sancho to Noni Madueke a fast-paced winger, the ball never caught by line. But Jadon Sancho is more of a La Pulsa winger or an inside 10. It is also a ball creating man, Abrante Freno, Christopher Nkunku. He took his time, patiently waiting for Nkunku to arrive at the right place in the box and slotted ball man. But I didn't mention this, and I'll say it again. So the whole goal, yes, was created. It was done by Abrante Freno and Jadon Sancho. But for me, the most important person in the manufacturing of that goal was Abrante Freno and Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku did all of the job in terms of the ball manipulation. Now, I've said it several times. The ball manipulation essentially said, ball now back up player and insano. How about to no boss? Yes, ball they be an pass in the component. Share and the best pass. If you come ball the back and the player be beno. But to bet to no boss, so the body best show the ball like a crap. No to no boss, then the ball comes down. He manipulates the ball. Then of course he strikes him. And I think that one of the things that essentially sets Christopher Nkunku apart, the ball manipulation in the box, and then of course the finishing ability of boxing. He was able to slam home, and Chelsea has our first goal. Now immediately Chelsea got the first goal. Heidenheim for pushed up, obviously, two men forward, trying to come and get the equalizer. And I think it came close, actually. One of the best things that Chelsea was to hold the high line in terms of the offside trap perfectly well. Today, there was nobody that was lacking. Most of the times, most would be a Benoit Belashila Kawachi, Tosin Adrabiayo, or maybe Axel Sasia Kechi. But nobody was lacking inside high line. The line was perfect in terms of the offside trap, and consistently, time I Chelsea share first goal now heading them 42 men for it to come and get a equalizer. Now, their young striker was caught twice in an offside position. But obviously, we still also should give a lot of credit to goalkeeper Philippe Jorgensen. And I think that if really and will be announcing and say he wants to get into the A team, Enzo Maresca said there isn't an A and B team, but to really get into the Premier League team, then it is Philippe Jorgensen. He was brilliant in the shot stopping, the patience, the sweeping ability. He was top in that chicken. Now, because I'm heading, I'm for a pushy to get the results. Now, what happened was that now you realize that openings FBM at Chelsea, and that was when Sabon was sorted from João Felix to go and find a branch of friend Christopher and Kuku to try and hit heading on the counter attack or and Christopher and Kuku. I mean MSC upside chance. Then from there, and Enzo Maresca idea branch of friend Kanu Chukwuemeka Bemo. Then Kanu Chukwuemeka now became more like the number 10, proper number 10. Then João Felix became the arrowhead or the center forward to move into the box. Then now still Jadon Sancho, Mihailo Modric keeping the worth, which was a very, very good one. Now, because this was a good thing, because Chelsea were trying to really hold on to the lead and managing it, now it opened up spaces. Now, look at the Mihailo Modric goal. And another goal that was created by Brandt and Jadon Sancho. And I'm talking about the quality of Jadon Sancho, but this is also a very good contribution from my Brandt and Renato Vega. Or no ball pass on the Kokoma Jadon Sancho or the right hand side on him. Now, so the mark of a very, very good CM, and he said, or ball pass or follow pass. Now, or ball pass no follow him. Now, what he did was that he went behind the branch here, your friend Jadon Sancho to do the overlapping run, whilst Kenan Drisby did the underlapping run. Now, Vega overlapping run brought 2 or 3 players to him. And of course, Kenan Drisby so Bono brought about 1 player next to him. Now, because of the space, the movements from the 2 players, now, it was able to help Abrante Feni Jadon Sancho to carry the ball into the box. Now, yes, because now Abrante Feni Kani Chukwuemeka is moving in, trying to attack, and of course, seeing for Abrante Feni João Felix there was a lot of space for Mihailo Modric, and what a strike from the young Ukrainian Arma Bono. And yeah, 2-0 at that point in time. It was literally game over for Chelsea and Enzo Maresca. The young players for them to also get some time and play some good football amongst themselves. I think that generally Chelsea really imposed themselves in the game. Now still on top on the Conference League, 2-0, second clean sheet in the competition, and then again they are flying. Chelsea have a big game this weekend against Aston Villa. Huge game against Aston Villa, our English Premier League. A game that's not going to be easy. Different proposition altogether. Definitely Aston Villa are not going to play like Heidenheim for a ball. They are going to be more attacking. They are going to set pressing traps. They are going to be more aggressive. They will push higher. They will force Chelsea to making a lot of mistakes. I think Aston Villa will press better. They will be more aggressive and more press. Now they will be more intense. They will have a lot of things up their sleeves in terms of set pieces, this Sunday man to try and hit Chelsea. But I think that this is a very, very good exercise away in Germany against Heidenheim. Chelsea have won that game. Of course, this is why we draw the curtain on today's edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So I want to subscribe here. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notification turn and make sure so you do choose all. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back. A lot of post-match analysis, pre-match analysis, Europa League, we'll bring it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. You are not subscribe, you are not share link, I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.